The gloss appears to be wearing thin on the latest efforts to solve Europe's debt problems. Markets jumped on the prospect of a grand plan from the French and Germans, even though it was long on rhetoric but short on detail. It's been a nervy session so far in Europe, with all the main markets down in trade this morning, as attention turns to the political hurdles still to be overcome. Here's Philip Lasker.
It's a handshake that worked wonders for global sentiment. Markets rallied strongly as Germany and France promised a plan to recapitalise the banks, tackle Greek debt and prevent contagion. But that's not the full story.
Let's face it, we declined more than 14% in the third quarter, and history says, but does not guarantee, that whenever you decline 10% or more, you tend to rally by an average of more than 7% in the subsequent fourth quarter.
The sceptics say don't be fooled by the displays of unity.
There's a growing discrepancy between the political elites in Germany and everywhere in Europe and what the people want.
But some say the Germans won't pay up unless the debt-riddled eurozone countries can be rebuilt in its own hard-working, productive image.
It's actually in the Germans' interest to keep this sense of crisis ongoing in order to bring the recalcitrants to heel. And I think it's a huge misunderstanding by investors if they think that the Germans want to solve this overnight. They don't.
And on the streets of one of the Eurozone's poorest and smallest members, Slovakia, which has to vote on the expansion of Europe's rescue fund, they weren't happy about paying more either.
We're going back to socialism. This is the new Comic-Con, not the European Union, is it?
I think they should contribute to us. We're not much better off than Greece, are we?
As if to highlight the differences, the next EU Leaders Summit has been delayed by nearly a week when the politicians have promised to deliver concrete proposals for a bailout facility and a Greek rescue. Reports out of Germany say Angela Merkel has concluded that Greece is insolvent and wants mandatory debt restructuring. But France, which has more to lose, including its AAA credit rating, doesn't see it that way. France is against its taxpayers propping up the banks. Germany doesn't want a bigger rescue fund.
I mean, what we have in Europe now is a case of coordinated concern that is still a mile away from getting coordinated action.
But as the European crisis played out in September, the National Australia Bank's key survey showed an improvement in conditions for Australian business.
Europe hadn't actually blown up. The world was still surviving. A lot of worries out there. And then there was a little bit of easing of tensions on the currency and expectations that you might get a rate cut.
It's fingers crossed that the political process successfully diffuses Europe's ticking time bomb.